Are you a deviant? You know, like those of us who binge watch serial killer programs, laugh at the stupid shit people do, and revel in anything adult? Well, you found your people. Join us as we crack open the door to the padded cell and release the insanely stupid, the weirdly wonderful, and those who choose to live outside societal norms. We'll delve into the strange, the macabre, the sexy, and the outrageous. So, if you're a deviant, then you have your place with us in the padded cell. Okay, hello and welcome to episode 87 of the Padded Cell podcast. It feels like it's just been pause all the time.
It has.
So, obviously, you don't know when we're recording. We did our live on Saturday just gone. We recorded 3 episodes on Monday after it, and now it's Friday, the 2nd of May, we're doing another 3, aren't we? And all because I've decided to go on holiday. Basically. When I was planning this, I just didn't think, that I have this big holiday literally days after the live.
Where are you going?
I'm going on a cruise.
Oh.
Have I not told you?
I probably
have, I've probably told you exactly where I'm going on, what days and everything.
Yeah.
So probably. We're going on a Virgin cruise. There's nothing virgin about it apart from the name. Like, it's an adults only cruise. Oh. It's not one of those ones. Oh. It's not a swinging cruise. We're not going to be, putting pineapples on the door. But there's no kids.
There you go. A dream for you. A dream for me.
Well, definitely a dream for you. It's not going to happen, I'm afraid, for a very long time now.
Let me come with you.
3 small kids, I'm afraid that's not going to happen. But so it's an adults only cruise. We're going from Athens, and then the first week we're going around the Adriatic coast, so Split, Dubrovnik, Montenegro, all around there.
You have told me, yeah.
Yeah, and then the second week we're going around the Greek islands, so Rhodes, Mykonos, all that. Oh. But it's called Resilient Lady. It's me, that. Resilient Lady. Yeah. And it's supposed to be lovely, and it's not like the other cruises I've been on, which are like go, 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 loads of entertainment, keeping you amused every second of the day.
Just chill out.
This is a lot more chill. It's very Richard Branson. He's a millionaire, but if you walk past him on the street, you wouldn't think.
Yeah.
He doesn't, And he's very chill about everything, isn't he? The whole cruise, as I've been reading around it, is just Richard Branson. It's just dead chill. And even the names of the dining areas and the decks, it's just dead chill, man.
Chill, yeah. Laid back.
Yeah.
That's what you want on a
cruise.
Love
the whole Virgin brand for that. It's very, it speaks to the common people, if you like.
Okay.
And it's an expensive brand, but the language that they use, it's very casual.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love the whole branding around Virgin. I just like branding in general. Not that sort of branding.
Well, that too.
So we're here today recording some episodes, so the fans out there don't have their padded cell fix disrupted. We're making sure that you've got your episodes, so while I'm away in the middle of wherever, you're still having your fix.
We're not putting you through a dry spell.
Yeah. And while I'm away, I am going to be doing little bits and bobs of video and stuff like that. I was trying to do it last time I was on the ship. Last time I went away was not this January before. And I went on a ship and I tried to do the whole, the way people do on YouTube. And they do the walkthrough. I failed miserably, man. I tried four different videos and they all bombed. But now I'm a bit more savvy on the old editing. I've had to be. So I'm gonna do a little video.
Getting a full tour.
I might just do a little daily diary.
Yeah.
Not of look at me on this fantastic cruise ship, but they've got karaoke booths and stuff like that.
Okay.
So to have a little sneaky peek in the karaoke booth. Oh look, there's Jim.
Is Jim a serial napper, by the way?
A serial napper?
Yeah, does he like a nap?
No.
I was going to say you could just do a montage of just
Jim napping
every time he naps. Just.
Do you know what? No, he's not quite there yet.
No.
He's not 60 until December. I'm expecting a napping to set in from then. But do you know what they have got on the ship? They've got, I don't know if I've said this as well, a vinyl studio, a vinyl area. Oh. So you can go in with a whiskey or whatever, a vodka in Jim's case, and they've got records in there with turntables, headphones.
Oh,
you can go and buy special editions, first editions, all that, but you can go and play the records. So if I can't find Jim one day, he's going to be in there playing records, drinking vodka and getting slowly pissed.
Yeah.
But it's really good. There's loads of little things, loads of little features like that. They've got a tattoo studio on board.
Shut up.
that tattoo studio. That in the background was Dylan.
Very
Fresh from Japan.
Yes.
You've been practicing your Japanese, haven't you, mate?
Gozaimasu, everybody.
So he didn't really know how well he could speak Japanese until he actually went to Japan, because there's not many people that you can practice Japanese with here, and he's come back like properly fluent and everything. Haven't you?
Mr. Japan.
It's just because you're surrounded by it. You were saying before, Vicky, you're the same in Germany.
Yeah,
but it's thank God, because my family who are there don't speak any Japanese, so anytime there was any interaction, I just got stared at to go, cool, right, go time.
Over to you.
Ikimasho, let's go. It was unbelievable.
Right, I know you only told me this about 8 minutes ago.
I forgot as well.
What's the word for fantastic?
Subarashi.
Subarashi.
You do better than me.
Yeah, it's all in the accent, I think.
Yeah, you just watch too much Takeshi's Castle.
Well, probably. I used to love Takeshi's Castle.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So, yes, for all that reason, we're recording today. And I need to tell you all that our next live episode is not until the 2nd of June. So that's a whole month without lives. Yeah. It's actually really weird today, not having Facey on me tripod and not having people there watching us live and you not interacting.
Weird, yeah. I've got my notes up. I don't need them for another hour.
Well, just learn them off by heart.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really, really weird. So the next live, 2nd of June. In between times, the episodes will be going out on Thursdays as normal and 3 days in advance on a Monday for Patreons. They're just not going to be live and interactive. But we'll get there. 2nd of June will be here before you know it.
It will. Yeah.
Right, before we move on, I just want to talk very quickly about an event that Mrs. G and a colleague ran recently at Townhouse called Neurospicy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not from this country or you just haven't heard the word, neurospicy is a word that we tend to use for people that have got that on the spectrum. They might have a head injury, or they might have ADHD, Asperger's, autism, any other kind of spiciness. Yeah. Because we find that a lot of our members have got something going on. There's definitely some spiciness there with a lot of people that come, especially on the BDSM side of things.
I think so. Yeah.
And we find that, God, fucking shit myself then. Give me a warning before you do that. I thought something had fallen. What's I saying? Yeah, so we have loads of people with neurospiciness, but some of our events can be a bit overwhelming. Or a bit maybe noisy, or just not suitable for people that have got extra spice. Or maybe they're just too nervous to come to a main event but want to experience it and see what it's like before they go. So we did Neurospicy and it was a sellout.
It was great.
Really, really good. And we had all sorts of things going on, but we considered all of the individual needs of the people that might be coming along. So we wouldn't normally allow someone to walk around with headphones on. Yeah. For instance, we allowed headphones and we actually supplied earplugs for some people.
Amazing.
We had flip chart things for drinks ordering at the bar for non-verbal people people who just at that time couldn't vocalise what they wanted. Yeah. We had a pointy stick as well for people at the bar who could just point at what they wanted. We had a colouring corner, which was me colouring dicks, basically.
Was it?
Yeah, I just spent all of my time in colouring corner. The good thing about it is that I don't know, about 15 people at one point in colouring corner, and people were looking down and not having to make eye contact. Yeah. And because of that, they were talking loads, including me.
Maybe it's because the brain was so focused on colouring. They were like, right, I can talk to this person.
Well, this happened to me, my mate. We went to a Van Gogh exhibition in London and a walk-through interactive thing. Yeah. And it's supposed to last about an hour and a half. Mm. And there's this one bit, a colouring bit, and you can colour in sheets of paper with Van Gogh artwork on it. They have loads of pens, pencils, crayons and all that. So me and Hayley were sitting there colouring away. People walking around us, enjoying the exhibition. And not the security guy, whoever he was, whoever worked there, he went, so we're going to have to ask you to move along. And I was like, okay, yeah. I didn't think there's a time limit. He went, well, we're going to be closing soon and you've been colouring for an hour and a half. We've done loads. But even though me and Hayley are busy mates. We don't always just sit there and just chew the fat.
Yeah,
we haven't always got time, or we're talking about each other's drama or scandal, all that kind of thing. Oh, guess what's happened now? A bit of juicy gossip.
Give them the tea.
But putting the world to rights and all that, not very often. So we were sitting there colouring, putting the world to rights. It was great therapy. Yeah. Anyway, Neurospicy, same thing.
Shut up.
Really, really great therapy. There was loads of people just sitting around colouring in dicks and swear words, and we had boss pens as well. Really boss pens. And we were just talking about all sorts of these people. Were just opening up. People that wouldn't normally go into full-blown conversation.
It's good that though, isn't it? Because it's probably giving people, well, some people, the confidence to come to a normal event where, it's a bit busier, the music's a bit louder. Yeah.
Now, we had quiet areas. People could just go and chill out with beanbags and all that. Yeah. We had more social, noisy areas. We had different music in different areas for different vibes and depending on mood and all that kind of thing. We had stress balls and all sorts of stuff going on. And everybody loved it.
Yeah.
Everybody loved it.
I've seen that but good things come back.
Yeah. And so we're definitely going to do it again. And it's been a gateway event, I think, for people that were like, oh, I'm unsure. Have I got a place here with my spicy brain? Yeah. And they've realised that actually they're one of many. And of course, they'll do absolutely fine at a normal event. But they just needed that little push. And Neurospicy has been that little push. And I absolutely loved it. And if you were there, thank you so much for coming along and being part of this first event of its kind.
Yeah.
There's no other clubs doing this sort of event. To be honest with you, I think it's because they realise how much work would have to go into it to try and cover all aspects of spiciness and trying to predict people's needs. You can't. We did actually ask a lot of people, and there was still things that we could have done. But we're going to develop. It's a developer. Yeah. But I really, really enjoyed it. As you know, when I go to an event, I'm not always there all night. I can get a little bit overwhelmed nowadays. My brain injury means that I go through periods of not talking at all and talking like this. and I just can't. I just get really, really, really overwhelmed by loads and loads of people now who want my attention, which is often the case in the club. I can't just go in and enjoy a night. I enjoy it, but I've got you. Okay. And by like 2 hours, I'm like, fuck this. I'm talked out. People just want too much of me. I just part and parcel. But at Neurospicy, I didn't have a lanyard on. I didn't have a badge on. I was just sitting there with everybody else colouring dicks and talking about anything. It was boss. Yeah. It was really good.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, details are on our website. If you're on Fat Life, there's some information on there as well. But it was boss. And Mrs. G and Orange co-hosted an absolute brilliant job making sure everybody was all right.
They had the Zoom meeting about it last night.
I know, I was supposed to be part of it and I was in the middle of packing and I forgot.
You're fucking let down.
Well, it wasn't really a letdown. It was my idea, and I put all the things out to them, and then they've just sort of gone, just their thing, really. Yeah. I just wanted to be there just to chew the fat with them over how it did go, and how we can change it in the future. But anyway, right then. So on this day, in 1536,
I bet you don't know this.
I think you will. I'm more confident than you, obviously.
Shit.
On this day, do you know who Anne Boleyn is?
Yeah.
Ah! Well done. Who's Anne Boleyn?
2 out of 2. Wasn't she one of Henry's missuses? Yeah.
One of Henry's missuses?
Yeah.
Yes, she was one of Henry VIII's wives.
Fucking Anne Boleyn.
And on this day in 1536, she went on trial with her brother for treason. Do you know what she did or what she was supposed to have done?
No, because there's so many fucking. I don't know the individualities.
Okay.
What did she do?
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It's not the main thing of me segment.
He was a bit dramatic, Henry, weren't he?
No, he was just the king and knew how to wield his power to get what he wanted. Yeah. Basically, it's like I'm the king. I'm going to change the law, religion, everything just to get my own way. I mean, he's the guy that changed religion in the country so he could divorce his wife and marry another. Did you know that?
No.
Okay.
Probably did. But...
Well, that's another story for another day.
Yeah.
So, Anne Boleyn.
Anne Boleyn.
She was Queen of England, following on from others. There'd been a few. And it was a bit of a controversial path to her crown, really. which I won't go into. It is a story for another day. But if you know, then there was people in the course who were like side-eyeing her.
Oh, okay.
They were very fond of the previous queen.
Right.
And the fact that this one was being swept in and Henry VIII was basically changing the law just to be able to marry this woman.
Okay.
The court was not too pleased.
Not in favour.
She had fans. She had fans, but she also had enemies as well. A lot of enemies.
Famberlin.
Especially ex-Catholic people around course, because that's one of the things that he did. He basically banned Catholicism and made the Church of England so he could divorce her. But there's people there, who just didn't like her, basically.
Yeah.
So, anyway, he was married to her for a little while. She gave him a child, and if you know anything about Henry VIII, his thing was he wanted a son, an heir. Anne Boleyn birthed a female, Elizabeth. He was fuming, mate. Fuming.
All the shit he's gone
He's
through.
like, for fuck's sake, I'm just firing off females here. What is going on?
Yeah.
But it was her fault, not his. But we all know that sperm actually does decide the sex.
Yeah.
So he decided, as he had previously with his other wives, to just think up a plan, hatch a plan. Along with Thomas Cromwell, who was a guy in court who really, really didn't fucking like Anne Boleyn. And they hatched a plan to dethrone her, if you like, So they made up a story of adultery, incest, treason. The adultery is obviously having affairs. They reckon with 5 men. One of them was her brother George, so that was incest.
Oh, wow.
And all this then was treason.
Yeah.
And there's 3 counts of treason, I think. So on this day, she went to trial with her brother and, like I say, some others. There was Mark Smeaton, Henry Norris, Francis Weston, and William Brereton, all found guilty. There was no sort of chance whatsoever that she was going to be found innocent.
Yeah.
Her fate was already decided.
Yeah.
It was just a formality. But the trial, which happened today, was like a show trial. So they made a thing out of it. It wasn't just, quietly done. People were invited to come and witness this thing, and she was mocked and ridiculed. But the storybooks, the history books, state that she was still very graceful, held her head up high. She argued her innocence, but not too much. It was like, well, look, I'm innocent. Said a piece, but didn't beg.
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, you don't believe me. I know the truth kind of thing. Anyway, so they were all found guilty and she was sentenced to death by beheading. Henry VIII had a choice. I think it was burning at the stake or beheading, and he chose beheading. Now, the other thing that he did, he chose to bring in a swordsman from France for an actual beheading. So rather than an axe... he brought in a French swordsman, and he was supposed to be like the best in his game. And he had this huge, amazing sword, apparently. And Anne Boleyn had got on to the fact that he was a pretty good swordsman and was like, whew,
Yeah.
Now, why did he bring this person in rather than just, give her the axe like everybody else? Some people think that it was mercy, so it was a quick, clean strike.
Yeah.
If you know anything about anything, there was another, was it Oliver Cromwell? Somebody was beheaded and the axeman was drunk, and it took him several attempts.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
Oh, mate. Anyway, so possibly for mercy or theatrics, because he wanted to make an example out of her, because remember, she had a show trial. It was very theatrical, and they're thinking maybe this is part of it. But Anne Boleyn was actually quite grateful for this, thinking it's going to be a clean sweep.
Yeah.
So she actually joked reportedly as well. Thank God that he's brought the swordsman. I've only got a little neck. It's like narrow. There's not much space. Yeah. Anyway, the execution was delayed by a day. I don't know why. Imagine knowing that you're going to your death and you get yourself all psyched up, and then it's like, no, not today. It's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. It's too windy.
So it was delayed. She was actually executed on May 19th. Apparently she wore a grey gown, a red petticoat, and like a gable hood, them like old English type hoods.
Yeah.
And she was apparently very calm, and then he gave a short speech when she was up on the gallows. And she asked everyone to pray for the king and herself, obviously. Pray for the king. That's how much she loved her king. Apparently she really did as well, yeah. So apparently the executioner hid the sword in a hay bale or a stack of something next to him. So when she walked on, she didn't see the sword.
Oh, okay.
And then at the very last minute, after she'd said, pray for the king and my soul and all that, he distracted her, pulled it, and before she knew it, the head was off. So it was actually really nicely done.
Yeah.
She would not have known.
Yeah.
I mean, I know she knows it's coming, but in that second, she would never have known. So... the aftermath, he went on then to marry History Vic, Jane Seymour.
Okay, yeah.
And he was a shit, really. He went on to do all sorts of antics with his wives. But this one, I think, is probably the most well-known because he just set her up. And, he was the king. He changed laws and religion.
Yeah.
But in this case, he didn't find another way around it. He just killed her. He killed the mother of his child, who was going to quite possibly be the future Queen of England. Not that he wanted that. Yeah. I'm like, God, this guy is just ruthless, really, isn't he? Yeah. Anyway, she's buried in an unmarked grave.
Is she?
It's almost like the last sort of fuck you, really.
Yeah.
And there's no need for that, I don't think, really putting her in an unmarked grave. And I know that she was done for treason and all that, but she was still, the mother of the future Queen of England.
Yeah.
Elizabeth became on to be Elizabeth I, who actually was one of the greatest monarchs Great Britain's ever had. She had bad teeth, though. There's a thing about her teeth. Do you know about her teeth?
No.
She was white. And then she had really, really black teeth. Obviously, oral hygiene back then, not so great.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But if my memory serves me right, the plebs or even like nobles aspired to have black teeth like her because I think it was down to the fact she ate so much sugar because she was rich enough to eat cake and sugar. Yeah. It rotted her teeth. And so rotten teeth were a mark of nobility and richness, wealth. Yeah. Anyway, Elizabeth I. I mean, if you read around her, the stuff that she did during her reign, we're talking mega stuff. But he did produce Elizabeth I. He should have really loved her the way he would have loved his son because she did go on to be pretty ruthless but amazing as well. So there you go. Anne Boleyn, you've learned a little something.
I did.
That was her trial today. Right. So, moving on. I do tell the masses that I've lost a nail. I keep tucking it in.
Take my hair, child.
I've got holiday nails on.
Take my strong hair.
And as I was unpacking, I lost one. You were gonna zoom in on that though, weren't you? I've lost a nail. So it's not down to me doing naughty things with my nails. That's just the wrong finger. And that was last night anyway. We had before holiday sex last night.
Before holiday sex?
Yeah, we don't have an awful lot of sex when we go away. I don't even know why I'm telling you this, really. People often say, because they know that we're a pair of dirtbags, your 2 weeks is just going to be like,
Filth.
Yeah, rocking your worlds. And we're like, no, we hardly have sex when we're away. Yeah. But we're always
too hot or?
It's just being out of our little comfort zone. We have our little sex den, with all of our toys and all of our hitty things and all that. And when you go to like a hotel room, it's somebody else's space with starched sheets and aircon and all that. It's just all a little bit unsexy, isn't it, really? And we don't do quickies. If it was a quickie, it'd be like, I don't really give a fuck what the place looks like, but we don't.
You have a sesh, don't you?
So we have a proper sesh. So, and it's 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm going to heal up. So we made sure we made the most of it last night. I don't know if I'm going to be able to last 2 weeks. We might have to do something.
When just go?
When? Tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, well, very early, very, very, very early tomorrow. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to finish the rest of my packing. That's it. We're all ready. Anyway, right. What time is it? How long have we been going, Dylan?
We've been going math.
25 minutes.
24 minutes.
Have we? Okay.
Close there, aren't we?
Cool. Right. So, just going to change direction completely because that's what our fans like. You are the main things that come from the feedback. that I get from fans, we get a lot of feedback, is the fact that they never know what they're going to get.
I know. I never know.
Not even from one episode to another, during the episode. And sometimes the feedback's like, fuck me, I feel like I've been tangoed. You've gone from like, to sex, to death, to poison, to Tim Tams, to spunk, whatever. And they're like, that fucking hell.
Just quickly, Dill, have you seen the live show? Have you watched
bits, and I haven't watched the full thing yet, but I've seen bits and pieces in the office.
Have you seen the smelling test?
No, I haven't seen the smelling test.
You'll enjoy that.
Do you want to tell the masses about that? While I wipe my nose.
So you gave me the task to come up with some things for you to smell on stage while blindfolded, because you've got a really good sense of smell.
And bearing in mind, you can't really smell.
I can't fucking smell a thing. So it started off nice, and I was like, yeah, but the people have come to see your reaction, so we need to get something. So obviously milk was going in there at some point, and that was a funny reaction. But I managed to get hold of some smelling salts. Some ancient smelling salts.
Ancient, mate. You should have seen the label on them.
Off one of our friends' nans.
They were like from a apothecary box, like a little poison box or something.
All the writing had fucking rubbed off the bottle.
Yeah, it was an amazing bottle.
Yeah, and I went up to Vic and I put my arm around her to brace her.
When you did that, I'm like, oh, what have you got here? You're holding me so I don't run off.
But you were like, get your fucking arm off me.
And I was. No, I actually went, get your hands off me.
I was like, fucking fine, if you fall off the stool, fuck you. Like, I'll get a smell of that.
I had blindfolds on, you say, didn't know what was coming.
But it was like, I was wafting it close to Vic's nose, and you weren't getting it at all.
And then I went,
yeah, you just went, and you fucking exploded.
Oh, the milk though. It wasn't full fat milk, thankfully. I think it was semi-skimmed.
So you couldn't smell it?
No.
So you were proper like in it?
I couldn't.
You were
I was
like that with your finger?
I can't smell. And I went, at the same time as I sniffed it, I put my finger in it. So there was like this dual reaction of bleh and bleh. And I was going, I didn't know what to do with my finger. I didn't want to wipe it on myself. Didn't want to wipe it on you. I was like,
oh, it was fucking class.
It was really, really funny. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, the smelling salts were boss.
Yeah.
And they still had a bit of poke in them, despite the fact that they were old. They obviously hadn't been open for years.
Yeah.
They weren't as strong as the one we did on air, but strong enough when you're not expecting it.
It was just when you said then that the fans have been tangoed.
Yeah, that's it. They never know what they're going to get.
Oh my God.
Right, so I'm just going to talk very briefly about the bill that's being passed in the UK about transgender females unable to use female toilets.
Yeah.
Don't want to get too political.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to go down the too negative route, actually.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of negativity out there, and we've talked a little bit about it before, about all the shit that's online. Well, I'm really, really upsetting me at the moment, the amount of people who, off the back of this bill, have now found a voice, or voice.
Found the fingers.
And some of the comments I'm seeing on some of the transgender posts are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I know human beings can be really fucking ugly on the inside sometimes.
Yeah.
But some of the people that are commenting on this, they've just, now there's a lot of people who are supporting this. It's like this, like in numbers, they've got this bigger voice, and they're just more confident in saying what they want to say.
Yeah.
And don't give a shit about, how that comes across and other people's feelings. I know it's like social media, so nobody gives a fuck about feelings.
Of course, yeah.
But there was somebody, God, what was their name? Can't remember now. Anyway, transgender female. And they said, I'm just gonna carry on using the toilet as I've done before. Anyway, some of the comments, this is grandparents, and they were like, if I see you in there, my grandchild's in there, I'm gonna punch it in your Adam's apple and all that. I'm like, oh, what's wrong with you, man? It's just gone disgusting.
It's gone too far.
And everybody out there who's saying these things, you can have your opinions and all that, but I think you're fucking disgusting. I need to give your heads a wobble. And also, most of you have probably never, ever, ever met a transgender person in your life.
Yeah.
And so you've got nothing to base these opinions on. It's just bigotry, and it's uneducated, and it's unnecessary. And we know a lot of transgender people, don't we? We've got transgender people on our team.
Yeah.
And they're just people trying to live their lives and just trying to negotiate this fucking path we're all on. in the best way possible, and you're all making it really difficult due to ignorance. And yet, all these comments about sex offenders and all that, I've quoted it before. Do your fucking research, people.
Yeah.
The trans people are not the people you need to be worried about.
No.
It's the men and women that you spend in day-to-day life with that you got to be worried about. And the other thing that's come up, Sharon Davies, you know, an Olympic swimmer.
I think so, yeah.
Fucking little cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do me for slander. I don't care. Try it, love. She was complaining to the BBC because they were giving too much airtime to transgender people.
Oh, fuck off.
Hang on. Off the back of the fact that they reported the death of Gillies Calente, who is a drag race star.
Yeah.
I think from the Philippines, if you remember rightly. I've seen them. And they died suddenly in their early 40s. I think they went for surgery or something went wrong.
Yeah.
Really, really tragic. And to the BBC, they obviously reported this story.
Yeah.
One, a person's died,
Yeah.
but also the BBC do televise Drag Race.
Yeah.
And so it goes hand in hand. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So Sharon Davies has come on complaining that there's just too much airtime.
fuck off.
But she said it off the back of a death.
Yeah.
Let that settle in for a minute. She said, when will the BBC stop the endless drag stories? I'd love to know who is responsible. They're reporting on the death of a person.
Yeah.
The death of someone who's in the limelight, who's put themselves out there.
That person's probably an icon for so many people as well.
And I think she needs to be fucking ashamed of herself,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. And, you know, she is in the limelight. She's got a voice.
Yeah.
And she's using it to spread hate.
Yeah.
And it's funny though, you know, right? There's a picture of it on social media. There's a picture of Sharon Davies, who's probably in her 50s, yeah? And then a picture of Gillies Calente next to her with the full makeup and hair, looking absolutely fantastic, by the way. And she's going on about, you know, transgender people and all the rest of it. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, Sharon, take a leaf out of Gillies' book and put some fucking concealer under them big bags on your eyes. You know, and comb your fucking hair. It was just like straight hair, doing nothing, and a plain face with big fucking bags under her eyes. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you're going on about this person who's looking absolutely fantastic next to you in the photograph.
Yeah.
It was the most ugly comment I have read in a long time. And using your position, you know, as a personality to spread that vile is just a waste of your time on this earth. She should be doing other things. And now she's gone right down in my estimates, and I will never, ever give her any of my time if she's on TV, you know.
Yeah.
There's just no need for it. And it's people like her that are spreading this hate and are giving people more of a voice and confidence to say stuff. People like her and JK fucking Rowling.
Yeah.
And there's something else about her recently, and it just went off. Everyone's just, well, JK's saying it. Oh, I'm like, this is
That's the trouble with it, isn't it?
this is really getting nasty, and I really don't want people to get hurt.
Yeah.
I can see it go that way.
Yeah.
People are getting fired up now, and if they do see somebody in the toilet that they don't like the look of,
Something will end up happening.
and they're not like saying, no, trans men can't use male toilets.
Yeah.
It's just about trans females.
Yeah.
It's just uneducated.
I know. I know.
So, in our next segment, I'm going to turn this positive, but we are going to stay along the same sort of line.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I'm going to do a little dangly bit.
Oh.
Okay. Let me just take a slurp. It's a story. I was telling our Liam, and Liam went, you've got to tell that on the podcast. Oh, is that gassy, that?
Pepsi Max is, yeah.
I might burp halfway through this. I'm still trying to tuck in my nail. My lack of.
Take my hand, child.
So, we've talked about cruises before.
We were.
On one of our last cruises, it wasn't the last one, the one before that, we do karaoke quite a lot.
Yeah.
And on every cruise there's a karaoke lounge. And if you know anything about karaoke, if you go regularly, you develop this solidarity with all of your fellow singers.
Uh-huh.
And you G each other up, and you're like, even if they're shit,
Yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Or if they try a new song, it's like, boss, new song that, you know, and
yeah.
you buy each other drinks and all that. Anyway, on this particular ship, every night somebody won, and you'd be put through to a final. But we weren't told what the final was or anything, so I was like, oh, great, yeah. Anyway, I won. I think it was like the second night or something. And this other woman called Sharon, she also won. And she was from the deep south in America. And she sang a song called At Last. At last, my love has come along. Yeah. And she sang it brilliant. You know, if somebody comes on, you're having a conversation and you stop and look.
Yeah.
She was one of them. Yeah. She was very good. Now, since before Hoop and Cough, I was also one of them. I would sing and people would go, who the fuck's singing? When I get on karaoke, I can be really good with certain songs if I'm not pissed. Sharon did that. Like, oh, great. Anyway, pretty much every night, she did At Last. As well as other things. So by the end of the week, I was a bit like, I'm a bit at-lasted out now.
Not again.
Yeah. Anyway, I found out that she actually had been doing karaoke in this bar where she lived for 20 years with her husband, who's a karaoke DJ. And so she sang that song probably every night for the last 20 years, and that's why she's so good.
She don't get bored of it.
Anyway, other people were winning who were brilliant. This one black guy doing jump around. And he knew it off by heart. And everybody going, jump. He was brilliant. Anyway, went through to the final. We were told on the day to be in this auditorium at 4:00. Like, I wonder what's happening here. Bit of a practice, maybe. No. There was no words, no karaoke. You had to perform with no words.
No.
And this show was going ahead at 9:00. This is 4:00. To a band. Right?
No.
I'm like, fucking hell. So we had this list of songs. Thankfully, one of my songs was on there. It's an Adele song, which I can sing really well. We had one go with the band with words. Then we had to go away and learn all the words. So I'm supposed to be enjoying myself, having a fucking cocktail on the top deck.
Fucking sweating.
Instead, I'm sweating my fucking arse off, learning the words. I'm like, why would I put myself through this?
I'd go home.
Anyway, so did it. And it went down great. And the place went up. It was really, really good. Sharon did hers. And this other girl, right? She hadn't been there once on one of the heats on the karaoke. And I'm like, who's this fucking girl? Swooping in on the karaoke. You do get a little bit competitive, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
you've got to.
And she did that song, the cheating song. And she's talking about wrecking a fella's car. It's a country song. I can't remember what it's called now. Before He Cheats, I think it's called. And she just sung it really good, but I'm like, who the fuck's she? Yeah. She best not win. She hasn't been in the karaoke lounge one night. Yeah. Anyway, she was a member of staff. I found out later on. Hang on, right?
Oh, rat.
So everyone's like, that Vic, brilliant. Oh, if you don't win, then you're robbed. Oh, yeah. Anyway, came to all the fucking panel are from the deep south. Came to the thing. The winner was Sharon.
Of course it was.
Well, I went fucking nuts, mate. I'm like, she's been singing that song every fucking night for the last 20 years. Do you know she does fucking karaoke? If I was a karaoke DJ. I didn't kick off too, though. I was just kicking off the gym.
Yeah.
I was fuming, right? Second, this girl who's never done karaoke one night. Yeah!
It's a fix.
And then this other guy did this like fucking spoofy song, like the Birdie song, but it wasn't. And I didn't get a placement. I got a bottle of fucking shit Prosecco. Nice. But I did get lots of back tapping and like you were robbed and all that, all that. And I wasn't disappointed that I'd lost. I've lost loads. It was that Sharon won.
Yeah. So Sharon, if you're watching.
So now every time that fucking song comes on, and I used to love the song. Yeah. I was even practicing it to sing myself.
It's a popular song as well.
I love it. It's a great song. Now I hate it. Every time it comes on, I'm like, Sharon! Fucking
Ozzy
Turn
Osbourne.
It off!
Sharon!
It is like that. It's become a joke now. It's become a joke. And it came on the other day talking to our Liam, and I went, oh, Sharon, turn it off!
Can we clip
Turn
that?
It off!
Clip, I need that as a reel. Like he's in with Walter White, where you bring him up, just I want Ozzy Osbourne side by side with Sharon!
Honestly, you know when something just will not leave you and a song just makes you go,
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, honestly. And afterwards you just like to your comrades.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go over and you're like, yeah, well done, Sharon. Fucking throat puncher.
Fucking dog.
And you know what? She was nice, but she knew she was good as well. And you know when somebody's just like, I'm quite humble. If somebody goes, oh, it was really great, I'm like, oh, thanks. Yeah. Oh, I love singing, thanks, She was like, oh, yeah, well.
I know.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm like, soft cunt.
Sharon will be going for a fucking swim.
So yeah, that's Sharon. And I just can't listen to that song now.
Imagine,
At all.
imagine she watches this.
Well, Sharon, you fucked that song up for me. For life. Even the beginning bit is like strings, and it goes something like do 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 do. That as soon as that, it's literally a bar. I'm like, fucking Sharon, turn it up,
Sharon!
Anyway, right, I'm going to move on. Thank you. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to highlight a guy who has changed history, if you like, for transgender females.
Excellent.
But also any female, really, who might find themselves in a position to need a vaginoplasty.
Oh.
Yeah. So this guy is celebrated in the LGBTQ plus community. And I'd never heard of him before, I'm ashamed to say.
Yeah.
So there's a guy called Sir Harold Gillies.
Harold Gillies.
You would never have heard of him, I don't think.
No.
If you haven't, you're not alone, like. But he's often referred to as the father of modern plastic surgery, especially in this country. He was born in New Zealand, but raised and practiced in Great Britain as a surgeon.
Yeah.
During and after World War I, he did a lot of reconstructive surgery on soldiers. Right. They were coming back with terrible injuries. I've talked about another surgeon, female surgeon, who did it over in France.
Yeah.
But he did it over here in the UK. And he developed trailblazing surgical techniques, not just on faces, but other parts of the body, to restore dignity, basically, for these people who've been blown to bits. He was known as innovative, daring in some of his techniques, but also compassionate. When he was doing the surgery on people, especially on their faces, he wasn't doing it just to make them look passable. He was remembering that there was a person behind there who'd went off to war, risked their lives, and he wanted to give them back some semblance of the life they had before.
Amazing.
It wasn't just cutting and stitching, basically, for him. He wanted to rebuild lives. And so in 1951, along with his cousin, who was also a surgeon, Ralph, he developed and performed one of the very first the first, we think, vaginoplasty in the UK.
Right.
There'd be a technique, I think it was over in Berlin, in Germany, I think, by another surgeon. But Howard Gillies, he perfected the technique for his own practice, if you like, and how he practiced. And he did the first one in 1951. I was on a woman called Roberta Cowell. Roberta was a former fighter pilot, race car driver and engineer, and was also a transgender woman. Can you imagine being a transgender woman in 1951?
At that time, yeah.
Look how hard it is now.
I know.
We've got much more understanding now about genetics.
Yeah.
You know, and how people transition and the journey they go on now. And all the big fiery hoops they've got to jump through just to be acknowledged and recognised as a female, male.
Yeah.
And this woman in 1951 came out as transgender and obviously found an ally in Howard Gillies.
Yeah. Which was probably
amazing. Near impossible at the time. How'd she find this man?
Yeah.
So she'd gone on to have hormone therapy and started a transition journey, and then sought out a surgeon. So at the time, I mean, transgender identities weren't even acknowledged.
No.
Really. And when you think about just post-war, people were just reeling and just getting back to like normal life.
Trying to live.
This sort of gender identity thing was not even on the table. It wasn't discussed at all. Possibly that might have helped her.
Possibly,
just living a life after the war when people are just trying to rebuild their own lives. Are they really that arsed about how somebody identifies?
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. So anyway, she found Howard Gillies and he agreed to do this surgery. So like I said before, he wanted to do good. He was a humanitarian. He wanted to alleviate suffering. And although there might not have been physical suffering with regards to Roberta, there was definitely mental anguish of living in a body that she just didn't recognise.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he went on to do this and wrote papers about it. And he was a trailblazer of his time, and he refined his technique, went on to train other people in doing this, and was, like I said before, the father of modern plastic surgery, especially this reconstructive surgery for transgender females. Yeah. And the techniques that he developed are still being used now, obviously tweaked for modern medicine. But it was him who started it all.
What a guy.
And without him actually standing up in the face of adversity, he was known as a medical rebel.
Yeah.
He never towed the line. He never shied away from taboo topics or controversial procedures. He just did it because it was the right thing to do. Yeah. And I love that. Yeah. I love that at that time.
Just making someone happy.
Yeah. For him, it was just the right thing to do. And I like that about him. It was just the right thing. It doesn't matter about what other people think and their opinions. Yeah. But this basically made Roberta's life. She went on to live a long life as a female. With female bits and bobs, which would have just made her whole. Yeah. In 1951. It's a long time ago. When you think about it. Yeah. So this sent ripples throughout the medical world. And he proved that gender-affirming surgery wasn't just beneficial and ethical, but it's actually possible.
Yeah.
He proved that it was possible. It went on to influence the next generation of surgeons, it's saying on here, and paved the way for more inclusive medical care. Course, yeah. It wasn't just about the reconstructive surgery, but it was being sympathetic to the individual needs of people that were not just binary. So he started making medical professionals think differently about the people that they were operating on.
That's good, though.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that in off the back of what I was saying before, because a little bit negative.
Yeah.
But, that this guy rose up in the face of adversity and gave this person a life.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
And she probably lived a happy life.
Yeah, absolutely.
From there.
Absolutely. Right, so before we get our ghost, I'm going to do a quick fetish factoid.
Here we go.
Got this down now, telling you.
I know.
Right. I'm not going to say, do you know? Are you disappointed?
Do you know?
You're disappointed? Because there's no word for it, really.
Okay.
I can't say, do you know what condom fetish is? Because there's just no word. It's condom fetish.
A condom fetish?
Yeah. I want to make a word. Think of a word. It could, Johnny Philia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Condophilia?
I didn't know that there'd be a fetish for condoms, because I know that a lot of people don't like using condoms.
There's a majority of people would say they're a mood killer.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they?
Now, do you know, over the years, we had to sort of learn how to use condoms and not spoil the mood.
Yeah.
So without going too fine a point, because Jimmy be like that at the moment, like that, just stop. So I won't go too far. But when you're having sex with other people, and you're in not a non-monogamous relationship,
E&M.
Safe sex is obviously paramount.
Yes.
But if you're not used to using condoms because you've only been having sex with your partner all these years, it can cause issues.
It can. I was the same.
Yeah. And I'd say 99% of guys are the same if you're not used to using them.
Yeah.
So we actually had to practice.
We did.
Putting them on and not kill the mood.
We did.
Yeah. We got there eventually. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Because even I was a bit like, what the fuck? I haven't put one on for years.
Sometimes you roll it down, it comes back up.
Well, flying up in your face. Yeah. Especially if you do it enthusiastically and confidently. You're like that, yeah, no problem. Like that down, then just go back up again on your cheek. And I mean, Jim's pretty good. I mean, at first I was like, I don't want to break it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like nails and all that. You don't have to use your nails.
Yeah. Oh.
But you roll it down, but you like try not to like pull it. Jim, no, he just grabs it and just goes right over.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to really. Not to want to put too fine a point on it. Just rags it over, Sorry, love. So yeah, we got it down in the end.
Yeah.
But not once during all these times when we were using condoms with other people or whatever, did I ever think I wanted to put it in my mouth and eat it.
Is that what these people do? Mm-hmm. Used or?
Used.
Ooh,
Used condoms.
The forbidden froob. Did they squidge it out like a froob onto the mouth? A warm froob.
I want a gag from that.
Just like one of them, innit?
The idea is that you eat the condom as well, though. You got to eat it as well, though. Eat the packaging.
Yeah. Oh, the whole thing goes in?
The whole thing goes in. You can get a fruity one, though, because it would be a proper froob then, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Get a fruity condom, pina colada. Penis colada one.
Pina
Oh, the horrible.
colada.
Have you ever actually, on a
I think I have.
On a flavoured condom?
Yeah.
They're not nice. And obviously there's spermicide on them. So you get this coating on your lips and on your tongue.
It's that, yeah.
And it's like a synthetic pina colada.
Yeah.
And it's warm then.
Yeah.
And if you've used the condom before you've put your mouth round it for jiggy,
Yeah.
there's also other things around it.
Of course, yeah.
And it's just the worst penis colada
cocktail.
ever. It's But anyway.
There's been times where we've done like forced orgasm scene or something, and I've pulled a dildo out of the bag.
Yeah.
And, God knows what else is in the bag, so you don't just want to ram it up there with nothing on. So you stick a condom on, she might be dry or whatever, so you just give it a...
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
You don't want to ruin the scene, so you kind of...
Yeah. It's not nice. It's not nice.
Yeah.
So there's this fetish for people that eat condoms, right?
And swallow?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off.
Some of them do the froob, and they'll like do that first. Right? And I saw this one guy rimming.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Getting every drop.
Yeah. And then putting it in his mouth afterwards. And I'm a bit like, this latex, should you really be swallowing condoms?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a site that has got recommendations for safe condom swallowing, and they recommend edible condoms. Like you can get edible condoms.
Okay, yeah.
And they break down. Yeah. So the one thing that really just finished me off, the biggest thing that people do who have this fetish, I'm just going to say it.
Go on.
They go round.
Oh no!
They go round dogging areas looking for used condoms to eat. I'm just going to let that hang in the air a moment.
Can we just have a moment silence for that, please?
Yeah.
Oh.
So basically, they're looking around dogging areas for bags of strange to swallow, bags of strange little swimmers, and they could have been there a little while. So they're not going to be fresh. They could be fresh.
Oh, fucking hell.
They could be fresh. And there was a guy years ago I overheard in conversation in the club, and he used to this is what made me look into it. When he was dogging, he would be the outside dogger with his penis in the window. Yeah. And he would be other doggers around, and he would go around and collect all the condoms afterwards and have a little condom picnic. So, if you're binge watching,
yeah,
put the kettle on.
Yeah,
See you in 5. If not, see you next week.
Bye.
And there we have it. Another day made better by listening to the curators of chaos. Thanks for dropping by. And if you enjoyed the show, we'd really appreciate you sharing the Love the Pathersell podcast with your friends. Don't forget to give us a follow on our socials, maybe some 5-star reviews, and feel free to send us an email to medic@thepathersellpodcast.co.uk, or even interact with us on Facey, Insta, and our other socials, because we love chatting to you. Make sure you stop by next week because, as Bowie says, I don't know where I'm going next, but I promise it won't be boring. Catch you soon.